Hello everyone, happy Friday. This is a very impromptu video. Before I get too far into it, I am going to let you know what's on my face because I know you're probably thinking, what the heck is she doing right now? And I don't want it to distract you. So I have Mask of Zen on my face. It's all Montana clay. It's cinnamon bark, carrot seed oil, and my forehead especially was a little bumpy this morning. My skin's a little bit irritated, and so I like lather it on my forehead to clear those up, and then I put it around this area to help minimize my pores. I have a Lime Life event at my house tomorrow, so I want to make sure that my skin looks flawless. But I wanted to hop on here. I was like literally just typing out my Instagram post, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put this on YouTube instead because it's just, I feel so passionate about this topic, and this month in particular just feels very special to me because it is my 6-month anniversary that I have quit my full-time job. So for those of you who don't know, prior to Lime Life, I was a certified medical coder. I'm technically still certified. I'll never lose that because, oh my gosh, it took me and the Lord got real close. It took a long time for that to happen, but I was a certified medical coder. I worked full-time. Pretty much, it felt like a full-time and a part-time job, honestly, because I worked so many hours with it. So I have a lot of health problems that I am working through. I have adrenal fatigue, and it has just really made my kidneys very weak. And stress is like a huge culprit to all of that. So I prayed about it for a really long time and talked to my husband about it for a really long time, and we just decided for me to quit my job because I already had Lime Life, and Lime Life makes me happy. So here I am now, and you know, I feel like people think that when you quit your job to go into a direct sales company, that they just think you're like super successful and flooded with money, and you know, you're at like the tip top of your company and all of this stuff. And it's funny because I see the way that people look at me or will talk to me and the way that they'll word things, and then I'm like, listen, this is how it is, so you don't have to act a certain way, you don't have to think a certain way, like and you know, success is different to everyone. Sometimes success just looks different to everybody. You know, some people, being successful is being at the tip top of a company. Sometimes, I mean, look at a stay-at-home mom. To her, being successful is being the best stay-at-home mom that she could possibly be. Like, success is different for everybody. And for me, I'm not at the tip top of my company yet, but I will be. I believe that. I can feel that in my soul, in my heart. I will be. But right now I'm very happy with where I am. And I think that that's important, to just be happy where you are. And I left my full-time job with a small team. We are small but mighty, and I am just so proud of my team. I get compliments a lot from customers of mine who know my team, or just other uplines on the team that I'm a part of, that just genuinely love my team. We are small, we are mighty, we work together so well, and like, I feel like I couldn't have been blessed with a better team, honestly. When you think of being in like the corporate world, you don't get to choose your coworkers. You know, your manager chooses your coworkers. But here, I'm my manager. I'm my own boss. So I get to choose everybody that works with me, essentially, everyone that is my coworker. So it's nice when you look at it that way. But for me, so if I'm being honest, you know, we made a lot of sacrifices for me to quit my job. I made great money as a medical coder, especially when I worked overtime every single week. So it was like double paychecks all the time. You know, you get comfortable living a certain way, but I just felt like I was drowning. My health was getting worse. If you've ever suffered with adrenal fatigue, or if you've ever, you know, had any sort of problems or complications with your kidneys, you know, and you can relate to when your body crashes. When I say my body crashes, it is excruciating pain. I mean, it makes you feel like you can't go on. Like it is so it's just hard, and that is tiring. It's mentally draining, it is physically draining. And you know, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and that's the last thing that you want, is to just be stuck in bed, having someone else help care for your child, whether it's your husband or, you know, a close family friend. Like, you want to be that person, like you're the mom. So it was tiring on so many levels, and it got to the point to where my crashes were happening more frequently, and it was taking my body longer to recover. So that was ultimately why my husband and I were just kind of like, you know what, you're done. Let's just call it quits and let's just see what happens. And it's very scary. I won't lie, it was very, very scary, and sometimes it's still scary, but I always force myself to look at the bigger picture, because this is my now. This is my now, and the reason that I quit my job was to focus on my health and to focus on being happy and being present. And it's so easy to, you know, get your mind wrapped around like money and being like, oh my gosh, you know, where's this money going to come from? Where's that going to come from? And you have to stop. Like, I am a huge believer in the law of attraction. I was introduced to that last year, and it has seriously transformed my life so much just by changing my mindset. And I actually did a short little training with my team this morning over the law of attraction, because, you know, I don't know, I feel like it's good to have as a reminder. And for me, like, I had just rewatched The Secret earlier this week and kind of rewrote my affirmations. So I have daily positive affirmations that I say to myself. I say them every single day, and when it's a day that, or maybe even a week, excuse me, or even a month where I'm feeling kind of down, or I get really anxious about money, like, oh my gosh, when someone tells me that they get anxious about money, like, I feel it in my soul, because I have been there. I am still sometimes there, and it just, you know, I think about it. Sometimes I think that it's worse than others, because I quit a good job. I quit a very good job, and I had a set income. So that's what gets to me sometimes, is that I had a set income where now I literally have the opportunity to grow my own paycheck with Lime Life. I can work my business and keep growing, or I can literally just sit here and do absolutely nothing and not grow anything. So, you know, like, one day you could have a $500 paycheck, and then the next week you have $1,800 paycheck. Like, it's crazy, and you never know when it's gonna happen or what's gonna happen. It's like the unknown, and it freaked me out for the longest time. And January and February of this year were very difficult months for me personally, with my business. You know, we moved the end of January, so pretty much all of January was just going through the motions of, you know, all like the new house stuff and looking at it and getting all this stuff and paperwork together, and you know, packing and moving and unpacking. And January, if you're in sales, it doesn't matter, retail, direct sales are just whack, like, in January, because you're coming off of the biggest sales part of the year. Everyone is done holiday shopping, they're burnt out, they're broke. And so I still hustled my little heart out in January, because I'm like, I can't let this moving get the best of me. And then February was so rough mentally and business-wise. And then all of a sudden March, like, I had so many amazing things happen in March. So many amazing, literally every single person on my team had their best month of the year, which I know, only being the third month of the year, you know, you can say whatever you will, but like, they were incredible. Every single person had an incredible month. I myself had an incredible month. Sales wise, I grew my team by 3 women in March, which was really cool. I was put on the net recognition report through our company, through our corporate monthly reports that they send out. And I had the opportunity to talk to our CEO twice. Like, not just once, but twice. So the first call was all of the leaders on my team, and then the second call, I was actually nominated to be on that call with her. So I felt so, it took me to like a whole other level, but it was a really good month of affirmation and kind of like a confirmation that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And So it kind of gave me that boost that I needed to just keep pushing forward, keep going with emotions, and everything always falls into place. Everything always happens the way that it's supposed to happen, but you also have to be willing to accept that. And, you know, through this endeavor, through this adventure, whatever you want to call it, this journey, I've endured a lot of self-development. I think that is crucial. I think now that I've been through it and I'm continuously putting myself through self-development, not only is it important for a business owner, but it's just as important for I think everyone should go through self-development. It's something of some sort, and self-love. Like, those are my two biggest things, and it is essential, so essential, especially as a business owner, because business never stops changing. And the things that I did almost 2 years ago when I first started this business, those aren't gonna work for me now, because when I started then, it was like a part-time, like, fun hobby for me. You know, I started doing this job as a way to help compensate some of my homeopathics every month. Like, I wasn't thinking, in my mind, I only needed, you know, like, one of my pills or homeopathics was what, like $30? One of them $60, one somewhere 90. So I'm like, you know, if any of those could be covered, any of my visits, those would all range between 60 and 120, 200, depending on what all was going on, what testings were being done. So that was my mindset. Like, I didn't need to really do too much bigger than that. And now this is my job. Like, this is how my bills get paid. Every single bill, all my groceries, anything that, you know, our son needs. Like, this is my job. So my mindset had to grow. I had to push myself past that level of comfort of knowing that, okay, you need a little more than a few $100s a month now because you've got bills to pay. So obviously I had to grow. I had to grow as a person. I had to grow as a team leader. I had to grow as a businesswoman, as a beauty guide, just, you know, for my customers, for myself, for potential customers, for potential new beauty guides. I had to grow all around, but it has just been such a fun process. And, you know, nothing bad will ever come out of personal development or self-love. Like, so don't ever stop yourself from doing that. But I think what was really getting to me this morning, and even last night I was thinking about it, was I have a lot of women that, and really just recently, these past few months, I've had a lot of women that will message me, and they say that they want to do what I'm doing, but. They always say but, and that's a huge word that I want you to take out of your vocabulary, because it's completely unnecessary. They always want to do what I do, but they have this thing that holds them back from it. And some of those things are, the biggest one, the main one is the makeup. They're like, you know, I wish I could do what you do, but I don't wear a lot of makeup. Do you know me? I do not wear a lot of makeup. I grew up a tomboy. I would much rather be in, you know, workout clothes. I would much rather go fishing. I would much rather ride four-wheelers. I would much rather do anything but sit in a nail salon. I'm probably the worst girlfriend to, you know, like, go hang out in a nail salon with, because I'm so impatient and I just get so bored. Even going to the movies is not my favorite thing. I just, yeah, so I always, when I hear someone say that, it like makes my head spin, because I'm just like, you might, like, I feel like you don't know me right now, because that's not who I am. And then yesterday, it made me think even more about that, because I was so excited all day yesterday, because one of my absolute favorite perks of becoming my own boss is the fact that my husband and I get to go on day dates. My husband, with his job, he's off one day a week, and that day will rotate. So this week he was off yesterday, and, you know, we don't always have to go do something, but it's nice that we can. You know, we can go grab a cup of coffee together. We can go, like yesterday, I was so excited, and I got all dolled up for me, you know, my version of being dolled up, and we went to have lunch together. Like, it was just fun to go out and do those things, because as a parent, it's hard to go on dates sometimes. Like, sometimes just finding a sitter is tiring enough. Sometimes, you know, work gets in the way and you're tired and blah, 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 blah. We always make up excuses for things that we shouldn't make up excuses for. So I love, love, love the opportunity to have day dates with my husband now. Django's in school, so we don't have to have a sitter. Like, we already have all like 8 hours to ourselves. So it's perfect. But I was so excited yesterday because I'm getting ready, and you know, it made me laugh in a way because when I posted a picture of myself, I'm like, I have on hardly any makeup. Hardly any makeup at all, but here I am living my best life, being my own boss, making money, going on a date with my husband, like, you know. And it just it made me think, you know, about these women that always say to me that they wish they could do what I do, but a word that I don't want you saying, but they don't wear makeup. And you don't have to wear a lot of makeup. I'm not a glam person. I will not pretend to be a glam person. I will not ever portray myself to be something that I am not, because that's not genuine. And that's something that, I guess a reason that I love Lime Life so much is because that's not what they want. Like, they want us to be us. They, granted, there are very glam people at Lime Life, and that's them. You can tell, you can watch their videos and you can hear them talk and listen to them and know that that is who they are. They are genuinely glam people and they rock it. I'm not a glam person, and I think that I rock who I am because I'm comfortable with who I am. I love who I am. I love the fact that I'm not a glam person and I'm still a boss babe. I can still run my business just as well as the next person. And honestly, the thing that made me become a Lime Life customer is their skincare. Clearly, that's what's on my face right now doing this video for you. Their skincare, I spent like the first half of my 20s ruining my skin, damaging my body head to toe because I, you know, fake baked. I, you know, made it worse that I worked in a tanning salon. So, ooh, I get to tan for free. And then I would go to the beach and lay out, and I just completely damaged my skin. So I knew I needed a good skincare regimen to kind of, sorry, this is like, I need to take this off, but maybe that'll, oh man, that'll be like super awkward for you guys to watch, so I'm gonna try to leave it. You know, I wanted a good skincare regimen just to take care of myself and kind of reverse what I was already doing to my skin, what I had already done to my skin. You know, I didn't want to have aging skin just from simply not taking care of myself. So I had already been in the market for a skincare regimen. And at that time, prior, I had worked in a dermatology office, and I was uninterested in their $300 skincare regimens because I didn't want to break the bank. I couldn't afford that. So, you know, just being truthful to myself, I wasn't going to try to frugal, you know, $300 worth of skincare that was going to last me a month or two. And all the other competitors that people around me were talking about, like, their skincare regimens were still over $100, close to $200. You had to pay for an account. They were auto shipment. Like, there were all these things that I'm just like, man, maybe I shouldn't take care of my skin. And then finally someone came into my life, and she let me know that she started selling Lime Life by Alcone, and she is a stay-at-home mom, and I wanted to support her. And I loved that I could have an account for free, so I didn't have to have pay for an account to browse her website or add things to my cart. My skincare regimen was under $100. So hello, it was all natural. There were no harmful chemicals in it. So check, check, check. At that point, when I was a customer, that wasn't considered free shipping. Now the shipping for that skincare regimen is free. So that's another perk. Like, there were just so many perks for this. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. So the girl that I started buying from, she reassured me. She was like, if you don't like anything for any reason, it doesn't matter why you don't like it. Maybe you just need the money back for whatever, for groceries or whatever. It doesn't matter. Send it back. You've got 30 days to do so, or exchange it for something else. So it was like, there were so many amazing things about this company when I first found out about it. And that's what drew me to the company, was the skincare. And I started using that in January, and a few months later in June, I joined. And by that time, I had quite a bit of skincare and foundation and mascara. That's the only makeup products I had when I joined this professional makeup company. Okay, that's it. And I didn't even know how to apply blush. I didn't know how to apply bronzer. I didn't know how to highlight and contour. I didn't know how to apply eyeshadow correctly. I wore one eyeshadow. So I would ask my poor mom to buy me an expensive, you know, naked eyeshadow palette that I wore one shade out of. I don't know how much it was, 50, 60 bucks for one color, because I didn't know how to wear the rest of them. I didn't know how to venture out and do any of that. And I didn't know different brushes to use. I had one brush for everything. And so that's why I like when I meet new people and they're like, you know, if I do a makeup class and they're like, you know, don't laugh at the brush that I have. And I'm like, please. I've been there. I used the same brush for years, never cleaned it, didn't really know the importance of that. So I've learned all of this stuff along the way, and that's what I like doing now, is teaching women how to use products that they don't know how to use, which tools they can properly use for which area of their face they're working on, how to properly care for their tools so their tools will last longer, they won't be gross and full of dead skin cells and all of that stuff. That's what I like doing now. Like, just because I joined this company, it doesn't mean that I had to make myself be something that I wasn't. It doesn't mean that I had to start wearing fake lashes and, you know, all these bright, bold makeup looks. I do like playing around with sometimes, just to like show my customers that it can be done. Or, you know, sometimes I get curious and I'm like, oh, I wonder what that'll look like on me. And I'll try it, and sometimes it's okay, and most of the time I would rather be just how I am. And there have been countless of times, especially since I started switching up my skincare routine recently, that over the past few months I have a new skincare routine that I'm obsessed with. And there have been a handful of times recently I've put on makeup, we've gotten in the car, and I'll say to my husband, I'm like, man, I just want to take my makeup off. Like, I felt so much better without it, even just wearing the minimum. And I know that maybe that sounds bad because I'm with a makeup company, but I'm also with a skincare company. And, you know, the thing is, like, you can do anything that you want to do. You don't have to be a makeup guru. You don't have to be a skincare guru. If you are interested in an opportunity, all you have to do is just pursue it. Success doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. Like, there's no magic sauce. There's no, there's just, it's hard work, and it's consistency, it's self-development, it's self-love. It is just having a passion and following your passion. And that's what I do. That's what I do every single day, is I follow my passion and I follow my heart. And, you know, my body still has a ways to go before I'm completely healed, I guess. But the amount of stress that has left my body since leaving my full-time job has helped immensely. Like, I feel so happy and so refreshed already, and I'm just, you know, I never know what the future will hold. None of us really do, but right now I'm just happy. And, you know, my biggest thing is I pour myself into my team because I believe in them. Every single woman that tells me that they want to be here, I believe in them. And if you want to be here, I believe in you too. And I know with the right training, the right person that you're signing up under, the right products, like, you can make anything happen. You can make anything happen. And there are always going to be fears, and there are always going to be doubts that you give yourself and that you try to limit yourself with. And you just have to push past them, because this world is so big and it needs you. Like, it needs so much more of what you have to offer. And sorry about that. Apparently, what is this doing? Ah! I didn't want to zoom in on myself. I forgot that my camera shuts off at a certain point whenever I'm recording, but the world needs more of you, and that's just that. So if you have it if you have that feeling in your gut, in your heart, wherever it is that you get your feelings that you should do something, you need to act on it right now. I don't care if it's about joining a gym, if it's about joining my company, if it's about joining another company, you need to do it, because there's nothing wrong with trying. There's nothing wrong with failing. Okay? There is nothing wrong with failing. So I'm here to tell you that because if you fail, that means that you've tried. That means you have given it your absolute all. And in the process of you trying and maybe failing, in that process, what you don't see right now is that you are going to be learning something so valuable and so beautiful about life or about yourself, and it's going to lead you in another direction. Like, and that's just that. It's never, life is never, it never stops. It's always evolving. It's always changing, and it's there for you. And you just have to put yourself out there and try. And I didn't know where I was going to go. I honestly thought that my customers were going to be my mom, because you know, my mom is like, she will support me in anything that I do. So I knew she would buy something. And I figured there were 2 of my friends that I thought were going to purchase from me at some point. And my mom's skin has transformed immensely, like so crazy. She's in love with everything. And it has just, it's just changed so much. I mean, I've met people in my town, and the thing is, like, this is what I needed for myself as well, because I have always longed for a way to help people. I've always longed for a sense of belonging or a sense of community, and that's what I've got now. Like, even my customers, like, my customers are my friends. Like, I get close to my customers. You know, I'm not saying like they, you know, tell me their whole life story and vice versa, but we are close. I care about my customers. I know what is going on with them. I know what, you know, we open up to one another, and we just build relationship, and we build community. And that's why I like doing these events that I'm doing at my house tomorrow, because it gives you a chance to just be around people that you're normally not around. And, you know, yeah, it has just brought so much happiness to my life. And, I get people, that's something else that women always tell me, is that they wish that they had my mindset. They wish that they could think like me, and you can, you can, but you have to make that first step, and you have to, you know, make the choice to surround yourself with other like-minded women. And that was a huge, huge, huge thing for me. You're gonna lose people along the way, and that's okay, because not everybody that you know in your life that you think you might be close to, not everyone wants to level up, and that's okay. They don't have to level up. But if you are trying to level up, you have to be okay with leaving them right where they are. And you have to keep going. You have to keep rising, because there's so much more to life, and there's so much more that is going to come your way just from leveling up and just from wanting to do better. So, whew. That is my advice to you. Just, yeah, I don't know. I love y'all, and I hope you have a great day and a happy Friday. And if you're low